That sucked.
You are Locked On Rangers, your daily Texas Rangers podcast. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
You are locked onto the World Series champion Texas Rangers. I'm Bryce Patrick, a cripplingly addicted Texas Rangers fan, covering this team for 11 seasons, including all 6 as the founder and host of this podcast. Thank you all so much for making Locked On Rangers your first listen every single day. If you're not already, you can follow me on Twitter at Bryce Patrick. You can follow the show at Locked On Rangers. Hit subscribe on your favorite podcasting platform and on YouTube, where the best way you can help grow the show is to comment nearly any single thing below. Now, before we get into the absolute catastrophe that was yet another Rangers loss in a row, this episode is brought to you by Booking.com. Booking.yeah. The right stay can make you a fan of any city, even your rivals. Check out Booking.com for your stay today. Now, I have racked my brain for some creative new way to say this team's not very good at baseball. And, well, I'm just not that creative. I can only say this team just kind of stinks. So many times. So many ways. There is a finite amount of words in the English language. And unfortunately, I don't speak any other languages. So, this is what you got. You got me, my limited English vocabulary, with my limited creativity, and this incredibly limited offense that had plenty of chances in this one. Plenty of chances with runners in scoring position. But couldn't do squat. Not diddly doggone much of anything. They did avoid the shutout, so that was nice. They had a couple of runs, including an Adolis Garcia home run. Good to see him homering twice in a week. It'd been a long time since we'd seen that. So that's at least an encouraging sign. He did it off one of the best pitchers in baseball in Corbin Burns, having an amazing season. But whether it's Corbin Burns on the mound or Mr. Burns, Monty Burns, the 80-something-year-old billionaire from The Simpsons, they're about just as effective at shutting down this Rangers offense. I mean, it's that old saying. What's it called? How does it go? When someone tells you who they are or shows you who they are, believe them. Well, the Rangers have been showing us who they are, and I believe them. I believe that this offense is just not very good this year, and it's really making me question if it's ever really good. Was anything real? Was any of that last year real? How in the heck is this the same team that won the gosh darn World Series last year? Almost identical. The lineup, nearly identical. But what do? You change out one Mitch Garver for a Wyatt Langford. You have, instead of less than a month of the regular season of Evan Carter, you had, well, about a month. So, relatively the same. You even make the reunion with Robbie Grossman, who didn't play in this one. And, yeah, the offense that destroyed everybody last year has been thoroughly destroyed this year. I mean, it is just absolutely... I don't know. It sucks. It just sucks. This team is just not very good this year, and I think it's about time to just freaking pack it in. Call up the other teams. Call up the Royals. Say, hey, we got some good players on our team. Clearly, you have a lot more good players on your team than we do. Didn't think that would be the case this year, but it very much is the case this year. You want a Kirby Yates? You want David Robertson? Do you want John Gray? The answer is probably no after the game he had tonight. 2 out of his last 3 starts have been absolutely putrid. And this offense, with runners in scoring position tonight, absolutely putrid. 1 for 9 with runners in scoring position and 9 runners left on base. 9 runners left on base. There were plenty of chances in this one. Plenty of chances for this offense to make things close again. I mean, it was pretty much out of reach from the get-go. I mean, John Gray drops a 3 spot in the bottom of the first inning, then compounds it with 3 more runs given up in the third. And then by the time we're into the 4th inning, we're through with the 4th inning. Rangers did pile on 1 run in the 4th inning, but he added 2 more for good measure. For a whopping 8 runs given up, he did at least make it through 5 innings. That was nice. That was okay. But everything else in this start, I mean, 1 strikeout. It wasn't even walking a bunch of guys. It was just getting absolutely annihilated. I know there was some speculation of him tipping his pitches. We'll get more into John Gray, but this offense, not picking him back up, not even getting it close, not even making a chance of it. Just every time this team had a chance to do something with runners in a dangerous spot, it did absolutely nothing. They out-hit the Orioles tonight. They out-hit them. They had 14 hits in this game. The Orioles had 12. And yet the Orioles got 11 runs to the Rangers 2. Because this offense can do nothing but dink and dunk. The power is virtually non-existent. The clutch hitting, virtually non-existent. Heck, even the discipline. They didn't work a single walk in this one. This is just putrid offense. And it is like bashing your head against a wall every single night, watching it do the exact same thing, hoping that maybe this time it'll be different. Maybe this game is the one where they'll figure things out. No, they're not figuring anything out this year. This year is done. Throw it in the wastebasket. Flush it. Maybe you could watch the other DFW team that plays in the summer. Maybe FC Dallas is having a great year. Oh, well, not really. Or maybe you could, lock into the Dallas Wings doing well. Oh, nope, they're the worst team in the WNBA. Oh, hey, well, you thought this summer would be great watching the reigning world champs on their world tour. This was going to be the summer of the Rangers. This was it. This is going to be the summer of the Rangers. The All-Star games here in Arlington. Adrian Beltre is going in the Hall of Fame this year. The Rangers are reigning World Series champs. Everything was set up for them to at least not be embarrassing. Just all you had to do was not be embarrassing. And you can't do that. You embarrass yourselves night in and night out. I mean, come on. You finally look like you were turning a corner after sweeping the Royals, which the Rangers have just some magic power against the Royals. I mean, they just cannot lose a series against the Royals. Maybe the Rangers just need to move to the AL Central. I think that would fix a lot of things. Mainly just the fact that they get to play the Royals that much more. And the White Sox, who are terrible. And the Royals, who the Rangers just own for some reason. Maybe that would fix things. I don't know. I don't know what would fix it. At this point, I'm done speculating. There's not some magic whatever that's going to just turn this thing around. Except for, what if all the hitters who were hitting bad just stopped hitting bad and instead decided to hit good? That's the secret. That's the key. That's the magic little formula that's going to fix this team. Just what if everyone stopped hitting bad? Outside of you, Josh Smith, and Corey Seager, and at times, Marcus Semien. Outside of you guys. But what if, 6 out of the 9 hitters in this lineup just stopped hitting bad? Well, if they just did that, then maybe this team wouldn't be in such a hole right now. This episode of Locked On Rangers is brought to you by Booking.com. Booking.yeah. With summer travel heating up, especially travel for baseball games, it's time to explore those U.S. cities you've always secretly wanted to learn more about. Yes, we're even talking about your rival cities. With hotels, bed and breakfasts, vacation rentals, resorts, and so much more on Booking.com, you might just find your perfect stay, even in your baseball rival city. Now, I don't know if the Oakland A's are technically considered a rival this year, but this is the last year that Oakland is going to be a Major League Baseball city, and the last regular season series in the Coliseum is going to feature the Rangers. So if you're wanting to go look for some accommodations and some hotels, Booking.com is the perfect place to go check that out and go see the Coliseum while it is still a Major League Baseball stadium. The right stay can make you a fan of any U.S. city, even your rivals. So book today on Booking.com, on the site, or on the Booking.com app. This is brought to you by FanDuel. This summer, FanDuel is hooking up all customers with a boost or bonus daily. That's right, there is something for everyone, every day, all summer long. They got all kinds of different odds. If you are a very, very positive thinker and you're thinking that, you know what, Bryce, all your gloom and doom, it's way over the top. The Rangers right now, they're plus 330 to make the playoffs on FanDuel. So go check out those odds there. If you're thinking, you know what, Bryce, stop that. The Rangers are going back to back. They're winning a second World Series this year. They are plus 4,000 right now. You're saying, I like those odds. I believe in the Rangers. I believe in Bruce Bochy, and that this is not going to be a World Series hangover that kills this team. Then good on you. Go check out those odds on FanDuel. They've also got all kinds of different batter props. They've got, award props. If you're thinking Corey Seager is going to just light a fire under this offense for the next few months of the season and win his first American League MVP award, go check out those odds on FanDuel.com/lockedon and start making the most of your summer. FanDuel, official sports betting partner of Major League Baseball. Now, for the first 2 months of the season, Jon Gray was a huge bright spot for the Rangers. He was incredibly good for the first couple months, especially in the month of May, when he pitched in 4 games, averaged over 6 innings per start, had a 1.85 ERA. And the month of April, he was, maybe even better, a 1.24 ERA in 29 innings in April. But here in June, it has not been the June of John. It has been the June of Joe, my goodness. That's not very good, Jon Gray. That's the kind of June it's been for Mr. Gray. In 2 out of his last 3 starts, Jon Gray has just been absolutely whooped, mollywopped, if you will. Or even if you won't. That's what happened. Empirically, that is the data. Just an absolute beating for Jon Gray in 2 of his last 3 starts. At least this one, he made it out of the 4th inning. 9 runs in 3 innings against the Mets on the 17th, and 10 days later, just getting absolutely waxed by, granted, a very good Baltimore Orioles lineup, but still absolutely waxed. Gray has shown a lot more proclivity of going with his slider more often this year, and this start, he just went very, very fastball heavy. Didn't get a single swing and miss on his fastball. Not one. He threw that pitch 39 times. Not a single swing and miss on that 4-seamer. 20 swings. No whiffs. 100% zone contact rating. 100% out of zone contact rating. They were not swinging missing at that pitch at all. And he threw it 39 times. The slider he only threw 27. Curveball, 4. Changeup, 3. Only 2 swings and misses in general tonight. And when he's not getting swings and misses even on the slider, which has been one of the better pitches in baseball this year, even that got lit up. There's one swing, 111.6 miles per hour. The hardest hit ball of the night was from Gunnar Henderson off of Jon Gray's best pitch. That's how you know he is not in a good place right now. And this horrific June, because that's what it's been. He had a really good start out last time. Against the Royals, 6 shutout innings. Very good work there. But the start before that, against the Mets, really bad. Start before that against the Dodgers, where he couldn't make it through 4 innings. He threw 65 pitches, still coming off of that injury. His first start since coming off of that injury. But still, the Rangers just need more from Jon Gray. the offense was paltry and should have given him more run support. But it's hard to get the offense into high gear when you're down 8-1 after 4 innings. There's not a whole lot of offense that can come back from that. Now, last year's Rangers offense probably could. This year's Rangers offense, not so much. Not so much. It is just not good enough. From every aspect of this team is failing them right now. Offense, defense, heck, base running, starting pitching, even the bullpen. Every part of this team is just falling apart right now. And they're still not mathematically out of it. But I mean, what about what this team has done this year gives you confidence that they're about to turn a corner? There's not much. There's not that much that gives you confidence that this team is going to figure things out and going to go on a hot streak. I mean, they had a 4-game winning streak just, a week ago? Wasn't even a week ago. And already, all of that momentum just absolutely dead. Absolutely gone. Shuttered on this road trip. Now they still got 3 more games left in the series, and if they do win the next 3 in a row, I'll be here on Monday saying, wow, what a bunch of doom and gloom. That was probably a bit dramatic. But I don't think I'm going to be sitting here on Monday coming off of 3 straight wins from this team. I just don't see it. I don't see it. I don't see some miracle corner being turned. I hope I'm wrong. I'd very much like to be wrong. I'd like for the Rangers to never, ever lose a game ever again. But that's not realistic. Heck, even just turning things around right now and getting to the playoffs doesn't feel that realistic. Because as soon as things start to go right, they don't go right for long with this team. No matter what it is, whether it's the offense starting to look better and then goes right in the crapper, whether it's the starting pitching, which had been so much better than anyone expected for the first half of the season. Heck, it's the only reason why this team isn't 15 games below 500 or 20. I mean, the job that this rotation did so far this season, for the most part, there have been the occasional blow-up starts from, Gray, from Dunning, from Heaney, even Eovaldi, his last start out. Rangers ace, not very good. Not good enough. Definitely not up to his own standard. Heck, even Kirby Yates has been tagged for a loss now this year. That perfect streak is done. Robertson's been let up at times. Latz has been let up at times. It doesn't matter who. Every part of this team has let this team down at different points this year. And it's just time to come to grips with, maybe being remember when? I don't know if you watch South Park. There's that one episode where they have this plot line about, nostalgia and these berries called member berries. And they're very nostalgic. They make people nostalgic for times that were, maybe not as good as we think in our memories. But for Rangers fans in 2024, the nostalgia goes back about 6 months where things actually were significantly better. It's not some falsified narrative of, remember when everything was perfect in 2023? We know it wasn't perfect, but it was still a championship team. And, there were a lot of ups and downs last year. But heck, at least there were ups. There were ups. Even in the regular season, there were severe highs. Granted, also very dramatic lows, but we all know how it ended. And, maybe instead of watching the rest of the games in this series, for the next 3 games, we just go back and watch Games 1, Game 2, Game 3 of the ALDS. Because heck, at least we know those went the Rangers' way. This episode is brought to you by Game Time. Game Time is the easiest way to get tickets to all the sports, music, comedy, theater, all kinds of events near you. If you want to go to a baseball game and, it's looking like these Rangers tickets might start getting cheaper if they keep losing, Game Time is the best way to go get those tickets there. Or if you want to look at some all-star game, some actual good players who can theoretically hit are going to be playing in Arlington later this summer. It's going to be awesome. They might actually win. Or if they don't, it doesn't really matter because all-star games are incredibly fun. And Game Time is the best place to get your tickets for that. If you want to get some tickets for maybe some Frisco Rough Riders baseball, you want to go watch a team that occasionally wins some games and hits a little bit, then the Frisco Rough Riders might be the place for you. They've got last-minute deals up to 60% off buying last-minute tickets for sports, concerts, comedy, music, theater, and more. You can see a panoramic view from your seat in the app before you buy, so you know exactly what it's going to look like when you get there. So take the guesswork out of buying MLB tickets with Game Time. Download the Game Time app, create an account, and use code LOCKEDONMLB for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. Again, create an account and redeem code LOCKEDONMLB for $20 off. Download Game Time today. Last minute tickets, lowest price, guaranteed. See, now, normally on Friday episodes, especially in the third segment, I really don't like to end on a bummer. I like to look ahead to the weekend, head into, Friday. You start off your Friday right, but, putting yourself in a good mood, some kind of optimism, some kind of look ahead of the future, some kind of bright spot. But, well, if you're listening to this on your Friday morning, after the Rangers are coming off of, or are in the middle of a 4-game losing streak, with the 3 of these 4 games being, 4 of these 4 games being absolute heartbreakers or just drubbings of the worst way. If you are looking for some kind of bright spot and you're listening to this to start your Friday morning, well, my friend, you kind of knew what you're getting into. You were one of the sickos, and I love you. And I respect you, and I appreciate you very deeply for trudging through it, even in the rough times, because you are my kind of people, the people who are tuning in, the people who are, watching every single game, the people who, like me, even when this team is just garbage, even when they're miserable to watch, even when things are going wrong in every which way, in ways that don't make any sense whatsoever. The people who are so cripplingly addicted Texas Rangers fans just like me, you all are my people. Y'all are my people. You all, This losing streak has gotten so bad, they got me talking like a freaking Yankee, forgetting to say y'all. I don't like what this has done to me. But man, there's just something about the camaraderie of baseball, even in the garbage times. And I did try to look for some positive notes, some positive minor league performances. I did that last week's show. If you're looking for some more positive, upbeat notes, go check out last Friday's show. Talked about 5 different hitting prospects, 5 pitching prospects that are doing well this season. A couple of those guys got promoted this week. That was nice. I even went to go look up and see if there were some nice notes on either Jack Leiter or Emiliano Teodo that I could talk about from their last starts being positive this week. Do yourself a favor. Don't look at them. Just take my word for it. But the camaraderie of baseball fandom, of my fellow everydayers, the day ins, the day outs, and sitting here and tweeting through it, very much tweeting through it, and all of our sad, angsty, frustrated, just absolutely down bad tweets and memes. There's something that I love about that. There's something so joyous even in the depression, even in the dark times. Heck, even in the most bleak outlook of this franchise, which I'd say was 2021 post-trade deadline. It was the most hopeless I felt about the future and present of this team. It's so hilarious that they won a World Series like two years and 3 months after that. Just absolutely buck wild turnaround. But the camaraderie of, talking about a crappy baseball team, of bonding over the misery of something bad, it's just, there's nothing like it. I mean, it's so much better to sit there and commiserate about, man, my baseball team stinks. My baseball team's terrible. Oh my gosh, I hate watching my baseball team. I'll see you all tomorrow because I hate this team so much. I mean, isn't that the most universal bonding experience for all of us sicko baseball fans? No matter who your team is, whether you're an Orioles fan, a Rangers fan, Yankees fan, Dodgers, Brewers, Diamondbacks, it does not matter. The pure, visceral tweeting through of how much I hate this team. I'll see you all again tomorrow. Ugh, I hate this. I'm so disgusted. I'm never going to watch baseball again. Oh, what time's first pitch tomorrow? 6:05? All right, I'll see y'all there. I mean, I have found very few things in life, in this world, that bring people together more than, bonding over sports. The good and the bad, but especially the bad. I mean, heck, I have watched a lot of bad baseball. I started this podcast in 2019. The first year solo was 2020. I've watched a lot of bad baseball. I've done a lot of podcasts about bad baseball and looking for optimism, looking for science. And I think maybe that World Series poisoned me just a little bit of saying, oh, this is what it could be like for a lot of times. This is what it could be like at times. But I think what, solidified me in my baseball fandom, because I didn't grow up the biggest diehard sports person. I really wasn't. I don't know if you can tell this by just looking at me, but I was not a gifted athlete, despite my impeccable physique. If you're watching on YouTube, you can see my my incredible physique as my 5'9" self. You can probably guess that I wasn't a star athlete in high school. My dad wasn't that into sports. My brother was, but even baseball wasn't really his love. He was just all about football. But baseball became my thing, and it really became my thing through the misery of losing in agonizing moments. That's how I knew I was still here. I was still going to stay here. This was still my thing. I mean, the first year of my absolute obsession was 2010, and followed by 2011. I mean, back-to-back years, the first years that I was truly obsessed with the sport, my team lost the World Series. And I said, oh, that's the worst it gets? Okay. This thing may be for me. But then what really, truly solidified it even further as, becoming my entire identity, I guess, was joining Twitter and making friends and saying, oh, I'm not the only sicko who's living and dying with every pitch of this stupid baseball team. This bad and good and frustrating and uplifting and maddening baseball team. There's not just one or two, but there's hundreds, thousands of sickos just like me. Oh, I should go meet them. I should befriend them. And I did. And they have become some of my closest friends. There's some people who are in my life who I don't know what I would do without. And they have bonded with me. We have bonded together over baseball. And I'm sure you have people like that in your life. The people who are, living and dying with every single moment of this, because, enjoying those moments with them and, commiserating with them, in bonding with them, people who just don't. There are other people who, are casual and who, pop in and pop out and don't really get the living and dying with every moment of this. And those people are great. Love those people. We need those people. Every type of fan is needed and valid and necessary. But there's just something a little special and different about that camaraderie of bonding over baseball, bonding over bad baseball. Because it's much easier, much more fun to talk about my baseball team sucks. Oh, I'm sad about my baseball team being bad, as opposed to, oh, my job sucks, or, oh, I just got dumped, or, oh, my family's driving me absolutely insane, or whatever other ails, or things that make us sad or frustrated. Sometimes it's nice to just vent out those frustrations and pretend that the worst thing in our life is that, oh my God, why is this team not hitting? That's the worst thing to ever happen to me, is this Texas Rangers offense just collectively not being good anymore. There's something so perfect and poetic and cathartic about that, of just letting that be for, 2-3 hours, sometimes 4 if it's an especially painful night. Hours in a day, 162 times a year, saying, ugh, this is the only thing causing me problems. This is something that's bringing me immense joy or catharsis or whatever emotions you want to ascribe to baseball. And just let that be a way to vent out our emotions. I mean, I don't know about you, my cable bill is moderately expensive, but it's much less expensive than therapy. And there are a lot more hours of baseball than there are therapy for, if you break it down by the amount of time spent, money spent per minute, per hour, whatever, on cable versus therapy, it's a little bit more of an even breakdown. But I wish I had some little positive spin. That's the best I got for you. That's my attempt at a happy outlook, a happy weekend for you. Rangers are in a rough place, but hey, don't forget, the Texas Rangers did actually win that 2023 World Series. You can go watch some highlights instead of watching this miserable weekend. Or even if you would rather watch this miserable weekend, then you are my favorite kind of sicko. That's going to do it for this week's shows. Thank y'all so much for listening and subscribing. And until next time, don't forget to enjoy World Series champion Texas Rangers baseball.